Alright, hello ladies and gentlemen. It's been a while, hasn't it? Again, welcome back though. I guess I should open. I haven't uploaded on this channel in nearly a year. Basically, just haven't had the time, haven't had the motivation, haven't had anything to really upload. I haven't really been streaming. It's kind of life's kind of taken over, and it's just been difficult. But for 1 month and 8 or 9 days, we will return. I don't know if this will be, I think it'll probably be the only thing I return for on the YouTube channel, but we are here to predict the 2026 World Cup. Yes, we are. Right. So, a little bit of context before we go in. I'm going to show you something. We go into the World's Game mode, obviously, the new mode that they've just brought out for this tournament. We will go into a new tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, that's where we'll go. We will be going into the new tournament currently. Um, what I would usually do at this stage, if you've seen previous predictions, we pick every single team so we can cover every single game that occurs. Now, obviously there'll be a lot of group stage matches, and then the knockouts might not be the exact teams that actually get through in real life as they do in the game. But here's the kicker. Now, as we go on to the World game mode, you will notice something quite obvious here. We'll overwrite this one. You'll notice something pretty, glaring. It's a glaring issue. If you're aware of the schedule of the 2026 World Cup, you will in fact know that the first game of the 2026 World Cup is Mexico versus South Africa. Now, as you can see, in the World's Game mode, that is not the case. So, we did have a little look through this earlier, or at least I did a little mini stream, test stream kind of thing. If you were there, you were there. If you weren't, you weren't. The games aren't in the right order. Just to kind of, speed it up a bit. The games aren't in the correct order, not in the correct dates either. That's neither here nor there. That's not the end of the world. Um, yeah, they're not they're not in the correct order, basically. So we can't unfortunately use the World's game mode just yet. Once they bring out a patch for it, once they bring out an update for it, I'm happy to uh, simulate all the results into the game and then get on with it within the game mode. But obviously, because we can't do that with no actual games in the correct order, we're going to have to do it through the kickoff mode, which is what we were going to do, or which is what I'm going to show you now. Obviously, thankfully, I also researched this earlier because I wasn't sure exactly how we were going to get these predictions done. But luckily, if we go into the kickoff mode, there is an option to do exactly that. You go into classic match as you usually do, and thankfully, we're going to sit in the. In fact, yeah, we're going to sit in the middle just now, but I will be editing both teams to give their best accounting for themselves. As you can see here, if you scroll over to International Men, you will see that all the World Cup teams have in fact been added. You got Cape Verde there, who usually wouldn't be in, Congo, Curacao in as well, Cote d'Ivoire. I think a lot of these are in off the base game. Haiti, I can tell you ones that are not. Indonesia aren't even in the World Cup. I don't know if they're in the game beforehand. It shows how much exhibition mode I played. Jordan as well. But basically, we're going to be doing it in the exhibition mode until the World's Game thing is fixed. If it's fixed. If it's not fixed, we'll continue doing it here. That's absolutely fine. So, of course, Mexico will be on one side, and then on the other side, it is South Africa, because that is the first game of Group A and the first game of the 2026 World Cup. Now, how I'm going to do this is I'm going to do one game per video. So, there'll be quite a lot of videos coming through on the feed, quite a lot of posts coming through, so you can see what the game thinks is going to happen and what I think is going to happen as well. So before we go in, first of all, stadium. We're going to do we'll leave quick match off, that's fine. 10-minute halves I think is long enough. 20 minutes feels like too long, but 6 minutes feels like too short. Legendary is fine. We've got competitive mode on and player-based difficulty on as well. So players that are very good at football will be shown to be very good at football. Ball default, it doesn't really matter. We got any special World Cup footballs and we can use just look cool? Not really. They're just all EA Sports generated ones. We'll go for, what will we go for? We'll go for this. So that looks pretty cool. We'll keep the full match intro on just to get the, the feeling of it. And I believe, I don't actually know, there's a certain amount of American stadiums in game, but I don't know exactly what stadium is for which game, and obviously not all the stadiums are in. So what we're going to do is we'll just go with the Mercedes-Benz Arena, just because it's massive. Look at that. It is a massive custom. We'll put it on summer. Obviously, we're in the summer. The actual game's around 8 p.m. American time, so I guess we'll do that as well. Not the end of the world. Weather will be clear. And the ball, I swear, did we not just do the ball? We did, yeah, so I don't know why it's come up twice. Everything should be fine, hunky-dory like that. We'll put as much pitch colour on as we can. So yeah, it's basically just going to be me going through every single game of the World Cup. So we're switching to Mexico just now. Why does it make me do the whole thing again, is my question. I don't know. Team management, though. We got to start with Ochoa. We got to start with Ochoa in goal. Everybody else, I think, is fine. There's nobody that screams out to me they should be in the team over anyone else. Again, I'm not really well versed in Mexican or in South African teams, so I think we're just going to leave it as the game has put it out. But we got to use Ochoa. You can't not use Ochoa. It's his last World Cup potentially. We're going to stick him in there, and I don't know if it will switch the lineup when I do this and go back to South Africa, if it'll just put whoever was in goal before back in goal. If it does, we'll just have to go with it, unfortunately, because the game is a bit silly. Why have I done that then? That's not what I want to do. I'm already on South Africa. Why does it do that then? No. Oh my god, this is more difficult than it needs to be. Just let me be the team. We don't have to go back and change the teams. I just want to pick the sides. All right. So team management. It has put Rangel back in there. We'll just have to go with it. So I think it doesn't matter who we'll put, where we'll put them. But that's okay. It's not the be all and end all. Slightly annoying, but it's not gonna make me cry. Anybody else? Don't think so. So this is your first game of the 2026 World Cup then, ladies and gentlemen, once this game actually starts to operate like a video game. I need to switch back into the middle anyway, so it will only... There's no point in me changing the teams, because it will only just change them back. We'll just have to go with the default teams. But what we will do is we will get into this then. So we're not at the Stadion Olympic. It's changed the fucking stadium. Hasn't changed the time or anything. We'll go to the Mercedes-Benz Arena, and then we'll kick into this first game. I would like to have this not be an issue, but it probably will be. I'll maybe find a way around it in the settings. We'll have a look around. We'll go to the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, though. It is in America, so we have to go to at least an American stadium. 10-minute half-length, legendary difficulty, authentic game type. It is sunny. It is 8 p.m. in America. So the opening game of the World Cup, Mexico versus South Africa. I will give my score predictions as well as we go throughout these games. I did Google it. There's 104 matches at this World Cup. I've got to do this 104 times. If I keep up with it, which I'm going to try and do the best I can. This is game 1 of 104 then. So, ladies and gentlemen, one of the host nations, Mexico, will be against South Africa. We'll let the game load in. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the World Cup has arrived.
My name is Derek Ray.
It is the opening game. Mexico, one of the host nations, will take on South Africa to open up Group A. So, I don't know what the team will be like in real life, but we can't change the team and have it save in-game unless I physically go to the menus and do it, which I might start doing for some of these teams for future games. But we're just going to go with what the game gave us for this first one. I'm going to stay quiet for the quote-unquote national anthems, and then we'll get into it.
Here's how Mexico will begin the game.
Again, I do not know the national anthems for any of the nations besides my home ones, but what I do know is I guess we'll see what it decides to give each team. That is the Mexican team that will be beginning this under coach Javier Aguirre for this World Cup, and they are ready. They are one of the favourites to make it through their group, which also contains South Korea and Czechia, I believe it is. So they will be looking to get on the front foot in a big way early on, as will South Africa, who 16 years ago, of course, hosted the World Cup and did start in the opening game of that tournament too. But here they are once again under Hugo Broos. That is the team that Bafana will be putting out. It is Bafana. I'm not being an idiot here. It is Bafana, isn't it? Like, I'm not being an idiot. Right, good. Okay, I thought I was getting confused there, but here we go. The kickoff begins. South Africa playing right to left in this one. And of course, the host nation, Mexico, one of three host nations, will be playing left to right. Will it be a surprise on the opening day as South Africa could stun Mexico, or will the expected favourite win this here? Chavez gets it to Quinones. It's now Chavez again. He plays it down the line. Quinones could have a route through here. Raul Jimenez is closed down by Sabisi, and South Africa will get it away and get on their own attack. A polish now to Zvani. It could be played through. It is danced through by Zvani. Lyle Foster. Now Apollos. Now Foster. Rangel forced into an early save, and it's promising signs from South Africa to open proceedings. Did we expect that? Probably not. Is it occurring? Damn right it is. You can see it on the screen. Now, my prediction for this one in real life, and I will reiterate it once again at the end, I think Mexico will probably be too strong for South Africa for this opening game. It is just the host advantage a little bit as well, but Mexico do have a solid enough squad, I think, to see this one through. It's not going to be pretty, but it is going to be a victory. I'm going to say 2-1, I think, off the rip here to Mexico. I can't name scorers because I don't remember all the players that are in their teams, but I will say it will be a 2-1 victory to the host nation in this one. I feel like it just makes too much sense for it not to be honest with you, as South Africa look to play it around the back, as the Mexican press is coming in, but they're trying to play their way out of trouble here. Now, of course, in the group stage, there will be no extra time. So, as usual, sometimes I'll play these games, sometimes I'll do prediction games and end in draws. Like, I'm pretty sure at the start of the season, I was doing Man United ones, or like last season. At one point, I was doing Man United ones, and I would just do a bit of banter and take it to extra time. I'm not going to be doing that because this is a serious tournament. Alvarado unable to keep possession there as South Africa get the throw-in. What I am going to do, though, is I am going to do all the group stage games, followed by the round of 32s, followed by the round of 16s, followed by the quarterfinals, followed by the semi-final, and then the third place, and then the final. All those rounds to come. Of course, 72, I believe, group stage matches in total with 48 teams playing 3 times each. I believe the number comes up to 72. Obviously, the round of 32 matches will then go on from there. We've got round of 16, quarterfinal, semi-final, third place playoff, and final. So we will be doing all those. Basically, if I can, I hope I can, because I'm actually hyped for the World Cup, and although I won't be able to watch every single game, just do not have the time, I'll be trying to catch the Scotland games at the very least, maybe the England games, depending on my work pattern. It honestly will depend on when I'm working as to when we will catch these World Cup games, but I will do my utmost to cover everything. But yeah, I'm here for the World Cup. I am ready for the World Cup. It is a return to the YouTube channel as well. I don't, again, think there will be much more returning after this. It is just because it's the World Cup. Career modes, as much as I would love to try and do them again, just not got the time. And I do kind of stream very, very occasionally on my main Twitch. But again, it's been like once every month or something. I'll play Fall Guys for a bit. I'll do a bit of Among Us. I'm not really too fussed on that. And anyway, that's not what this is about. We're here for the World Cup. This isn't even my main Twitch. It's a backup Twitch. I'm just streaming these games off of to not hurt my main Twitch channel in case anything goes wrong. What I do know is that there has been no goals yet in this one. It's been a slow pace. I think it's going to be a deliberate pace from both sides just to try and feel their way into this. They're the opening game of the World Cup, and of course people are expecting big things. But I think patience from both sides is what's required here, and the result could go the right way if you show the right amount of patience and then just strike at the right time. Now, South Africa have not been bad so far. They've kept Mexico, interested. It's on the back burner, this one. There's no breakthrough yet. There could be from either side. It's been 50-50, I guess, is my point. Mokoena, now to Yaya, Sabisi. They're just kind of trying to draw the Mexican defenders, midfielders, obviously the whole team, out of their positions, trying to exploit the space, which is smart. There's no rush in a tournament like this. Usually it would have to be at least 2 wins, or maybe even drawing a win if you were lucky to get through, but because a lot of the third place teams will be going through as well, it is possibly enough if you just get 3 points, because it will be obviously a top 2 from each group, and then the best 8 third place finishing teams that will find their route through to the knockout round, to the round of 32, and then we will obviously go on from there. So if a team like, say, South Africa or South Korea, who I believe, I actually don't know who comes second in this group, to be honest. I feel like Mexico is a certain bet for first place, but whoever comes second, they could claw it with 3 points. Third place could get 2 points and have a good goal difference or something like that. It really is going to be fine margins. But the beauty of this format, and I don't know if I like it or hate it yet. I don't know if I can judge it until it's actually been played. But what I do know is that for this beauty of this format is that some of the lesser nations, some of the nations you wouldn't expect to have a chance, do in fact have a chance. We might see some crazy countries through to the round of 32, and I'm here for it. I'm fully here for it. We could see Curacao go through. We could see Cabo Verde, however you pronounce it, go through as well. Jordan, some of these countries that don't make many World Cups, Haiti, Panama. It could be anything, and that's the beauty of it. And I'm only playing these in the background just to kind of see what the game thinks will happen. I don't know what will happen, and that's the beauty of it. It's the most unpredictable World Cup. I think we know who the final few nations are going to be. There's a lot of favourites touted for it, and of course England always in the mix. And of course I got to back them because of my home country. I know obviously I live in Scotland now, which means I've got to back them both, unfortunately, which is not the best thing. Two enemies against each other. You've got to back them both, one because you live here now, one because you were born there. As South Africa, Maseko can't quite get the shot off before Reyes closes him down. It was nearly a brilliant opportunity for Bafana, but yeah, basically I think England will. It depends on the run, to be honest. I think they'll get through the groups. I think it'll be England and Croatia topping that group, with Ghana getting the third place spot and going through, to be honest. I think Ghana will make it through in third, and it will be Panama to crash out in the England group. As for the Scotland group, I'm going to be realistic. I think Brazil and Morocco are the top 2. Scotland will get third. Whether they get third and it's enough, I don't know. And then I don't think Haiti. I don't know enough about Haiti to really judge them, but I don't think they'll make anywhere near to the round of 32, unfortunately. But what I do know is I've got to back them both, and I'm here to do it. I'm happy to do it, and I'm curious to see which team. Well, I mean, I think we know which team gets further, but which team will win the whole thing, because you've got your Portugals, your Spain, your Frances, your Germanys, all these bigger countries, potentially your Argentinas as well, going back to back, your Brazils, your Netherlands. It could be anyone, and it really depends on how the groups fall, what draw you get in the round of 32, and then how you continue on from there. It's the first time, I believe, ever. I don't remember if there was a format before the 32-team one that had 48 teams, but I believe this is the first time ever we've had 48 teams. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all shakes out. But what basically my point is, it's unpredictable, and I know there's reservations about the host nations and, you know, involvement from certain countries because of the host nations' ties and that. We're not getting into political things with it. We're here for the football. The political side of it is not my expertise, so I'm not going to comment on it. But what I do know is that there's 3 host nations, so there's plenty of football to be watched. I don't believe that every single game is getting broadcasted, which I guess that's understandable. I don't expect one outlet to stream 104 matches. I believe BBC said they had about half of them they're going to show with highlights for each and every game, but I don't really know how you can fully broadcast all 104 for free, to be honest. But I don't know is I'm going to try and catch, at the very least, the Scotland games, the England games, potentially other games I can whilst I am either not working or awake, because obviously the time difference will prove to be a factor. But rest assured, I will be making that Scotland-Haiti game, whether I'm working or whether I'm not. I will be watching that. Scotland making the World Cup, I believe it was the first time in, I can't remember the exact time frame. I want to say 1990. Could be mistaken on that fact, as Lyle Foster does get a shot to that, but it is stopped well by Rangel, and now Mexico could counter as we close out the first half of World Cup 2026. No difference between the two teams yet, but that could change as we close the half now. Mexico will not get their opportunity here. They did go too far back, and we will go into the break with a goalless scoreline. Jimenez, one of the ones they expect to kind of, maybe not push on here, but kind of get a couple of cheeky goals to send his team through. Of course, very decent season with Fulham as they finished mid-table. Could he translate that form to the World Cup? He hasn't yet. I'm not saying he couldn't. I'm just saying he hasn't yet. Taking a look at the stats then at the break, it's actually Mexico on the back foot, as they've had more of the ball, 56-44 in terms of possession, but the shots on target as well, I should mention, have come from Bafana. Bafana with 2 shots to 0 and 0.7 expected goals to 0.0. There hasn't been a lot in it, but South Africa have had opportunities, and if they can continue making their opportunities, it might be a steal for the technically away side here. I know we're in an American stadium for this, but technically the away side. And it really could go either way, as you see the stats at the break. Not too much to test Rangel, but enough to concern Mexico, I would presume, as we continue on into the second half. No changes, I believe, from either manager, but we'll see once we enter the second half of play. But anyway, we are here. 1 half out of 208. And that could increase as well, because of course there's going to be halves of extra time. There's going to be penalty shootouts. There could be anything in this tournament, and we're just at the start. I will say as well, and I meant to say this with a disclosure at the beginning, I am recording these a few days before they get uploaded. So, for example, this one, recorded on June 5th, will be uploaded June 9th. I'm going to try my absolute damnedest to schedule these 2 days before each of the World Cup fixtures, just so there's plenty of time to have a look and have a think and have a ponder if you do want to watch these. And if you don't want to watch these, that's absolutely fine as well. I'm not going to force you to. But anyway, we head into the second half, then 0-0 at the break. Will there be a breakthrough for either of these sides? Will there be changes for either of these sides as we come out into the second half? I don't believe there is, but we'll only see when the scoreboard comes up. There has not been any substitutions from either manager. Of course, both managers will need to keep the squads as fit as possible, as we've got a lot of football to come over the next month and a bit. Obviously, the tournament running from June 11th to July 19th, where the World Cup final will be played at the MetLife Stadium. I'm hoping one of my nations is in it. I would back England's chances over Scotland's, naturally, but the draw could be chaotic. The draw could be horrible. Scotland could draw somebody like Curacao in around the 32, and England could draw somebody like France. I don't know the exact pathing, obviously. That's just giving a like a theory, like a hypothetical. I don't know who England would draw. I don't know who Scotland would draw. I know they draw from like nearby groups. So because Scotland, I think a group, or Scotland, I think a group D, isn't they? They might draw someone from. They probably would draw someone from Group C. Obviously, in the previous World Cup editions, for the round of 16, the runner-up of Group C would face the winner of Group D and stuff like that. But because it's now 48, I actually need to read into it a little bit more. I'll be honest with you, I've not really read into how the tournament bracket would work. But what I do know is that I would like both of my teams to get through, and if they don't, and if they do, sweet as well. We are here for it. We're here for the World Cup, and we are here for the long haul. I will be recording multiple of these a day if I have the time. There will be some days where I don't record any of them because I won't have the time. I'm going to try and at least get one game per day done though, because obviously I'll need to do 3 or 4 per day eventually. There's 104 fucking matches to do over the next month and a half, and for part of the tournament, I believe it's around the quarter-final stage, I will be away from home, so I would like to get those done in advance if I know the quarter-finals at that point. As Mexico get through, Alvarado does test Williams, and it's the first effort for Mexico. And it probably won't be the last, as they, as the opponents here making the first change of the day. Maseko coming off for Adams for a substitution for South Africa. Alvarado will swing this in towards Edson Alvarez. It's headed just wide by the West Ham midfielder and the captain, I believe, of Mexico. Just the wrong side of the post, but Mexico look like they're getting themselves involved here, and that could be trouble for South Africa. Mexico could steal it. It's not really been a game to steal. There's not been a dominant force, but I think as it goes on, it will favour Mexico. They've got the more quality on their side. They've got better depth as well. It is, I think, going to be a matter of time before Mexico do score. And if they don't score, I think they'll still be fine anyway. Still be sorted. I thought if I made a completely new account, I would be safe from the spam botters, but unfortunately there's been one posted in the chat, so we'll do a little can't do a ban. Oh, I can't do a ban. I got banned, but it's fine. It's fine. I don't expect anyone to watch on Twitch. If you somehow find this, fair play to you. I'm kind of doing this just to record, to be honest, and not hurt my standing on my main channel, just to get these recorded, put them straight up to YouTube in their entirety, and we'll go from there. I may make thumbnails for them, but because I don't have a, well, it's not I don't have a laptop anymore, I've not used it in ages. I don't actually know if it still operates. I also don't know where the charger is, which is probably a key part. So I might try and make some thumbnails on my phone for these, and if I don't make thumbnails, you know what happened. I'll probably just do like the template from the World's Game mode, to be honest. I'll probably just use the Mexico versus South Africa template from there for this. I don't know yet, but what we do know is that Mexico are really putting the fucking pressure now on South Africa, and running out of room now. Oh, that is brilliant, but it is unlucky as well. Alvarado, Fidalgo now try to, well, they won the press, now they need to make the most of it. Gallardo, or Gallardo, I should try and pronounce these players properly. I apologise if there's mispronunciation. Chavez is through though. He's taken it too far wide. Back to Quinones. And now Hidalgo inside to Raul Jimenez, who puts it wide. You expect your talisman to score from there, and he's being dragged for it. It's Jimenez for Jimenez. I believe Santiago Jimenez, I could be incorrect with that, is coming on for Mexico. The Jimenezes have swapped J for G. Will it lead to a G-O-A-L in this one for Mexico? Unknown on the answer for that. Just double checking my nations. It will be Santiago Jimenez coming on. He was born in Argentina apparently, but he will represent Mexico at this World Cup. Subs requested as well. I think there's going to be more changes should the ball exit the field of play once again. If we start on a 0-0, by the way, doesn't set the best tone, but I might try and record 2 games here, but I do want to do something as well. I've got an unplanned day off, as in I was meant to be working today, but they've given me the day off, which I'm guessing either the place is not busy enough or they've put too many staff on. It could be either or. but fine by me. I'm not going to complain on a Friday afternoon. Playing around the box now, it could be Mexico again. They've really turned up the tempo, but of course there is a ticking clock on this. 20 minutes from a very good point for South Africa. I will admit, looking on the other side of the pan, it could be a really smart point for South Africa to take here. A win over either Czechia or South Korea is not completely out of reach either, and it could find them a pathway into the groups. I might try and do my own tables for this, and compare them with the actual group tables in real life. Obviously, we'll play the matches that occur in real life. So say if Mexico do go through in these simulations but don't actually go through in real life, that it will just be not play Mexico again. But I think I'm going to do maybe a Google document table parallel to these ones, as we do get the opening goal of the World Cup. South Africa sitting far too far back, giving Mexico far too much space, and it is the substitute Santiago Jimenez who will open the scoring here in the first World Cup match. Raul Jimenez looking on looking impressed. It is well played, triangle passing before Jimenez has the easiest finish into the bottom left, past Ronwen Williams in the South African net. It's not bad for Mexico, but it might have taken a little longer than they would have liked. However, they are off the mark, and it is 1-0. We have our first goal. As I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted by some very good football. I might make an opposite Google document somewhere where there is a table of how these simulations have gone, and then we'll go off with how the real ones have gone, and we'll compare them across. Or maybe I'll just write them down somewhere. Maybe I'll get a pen and paper and write it down, and we'll just see. We'll kind of like mirror them just to see what happened. And where it happened. The South African now look to battle back into a game that they had good control of in the first half, but Mexico have really grabbed it by the neck, by the scruff of the neck, I should say. It's a saying, not grab it by the neck. That sounds a bit psychotic, but yeah, it is Mexico now who have the advantage. Mexico who have all the control, and they will be looking for a second to kill the game off. In this one, I said 2-1 in my prediction, and I will reiterate that once again at the end of the video. There will also be a prediction in the description as well. I will look through the players of both sides, and I will put scorers down there as well. It is just a matter of me. I'm gonna have to do a bit more research, I guess, pretty much. Because I'll be real, I don't know a lot of players from a lot of nations. South Africa, I know a few names, don't recognise them. Don't recognise most of them, but I know a few names just from club football, like Lyle Foster, obviously. He's in the Prem. Well, he was in the Prem, got relegated with Burnley. And then for Mexico, you know most of them. Quite a lot of household names that have been in a few World Cups now. Of course, Israel Reyes, Edson Alvarez, Raul Jimenez, Santiago Jimenez, Alvarado as well. Some of them you just know free agents-wise, because there's a lot of free agents from Mexico in career mode, so I've seen a lot of those names hanging around as well, as Mexico will try and build for a second with the game ticking away here. Only 7.5 minutes to play. And Gallardo out to Alvarez, or Alvarez out to Alvarado, I should say. Alvarez was the one spraying the pass there. It is Fidalgo back to Alvarez. Will they find a way through? Chavez gets tackled, and Adams now. South Africa, if they're going to get something out of this, they need to break a bit more than they are doing. Not enough options really to play through the attack, and now Mexico have their positions back in defence, and it just doesn't seem to be urgent enough in the second half from Bafana to try and find a result here. But they could prove me wrong with time left to go. I think maybe fatigue is setting in as well, potentially here, as Mexico are holding strong. But Lyle Foster will need a bit of support. He does get said support. It's Apollos now, and it's closed down by Reyes as Mokoena tries to find their way through. Now counter-attack on the cards for Mexico. Alvarado, Chavez, now Jimenez as he finds Fidalgo out on the right. It's back inside to Jimenez, who is on the side. No flag there Will there be one more chance in Mexico to seal the deal, or are they happy just to play it out? Apollos does dispossess, and now it could be South Africa for one more roll of the proverbial dice. Minutes to go. It's quite a nice view of the score clock and the score line as well, perfectly placed on the halfway line. But I believe it will be Mexico, not with the greatest of performances first half, but turning up the heat second half, and it is going to be, well, 1-0 lead for now, depending on injury time. They might see this out, and it is a good tackle from Reyes, who will just play it across his back line, hopefully without any drama, and it will be closed off. I think here Cesar Montes, South Africa putting as much pressure on as they can to try and force a mistake before the clock runs out, but it is cleared away by Rangel, and it will be that, I believe. Mexico might get one more throw here of the dice, but it is not going to happen. The referee blows for full time, and it is an opening day victory for one of the three host nations as Santiago Jimenez gets the goal to put Mexico to the top of the group. Obviously, they're going to be the top of the group. They're the only team that's won out of the fucking 48 teams that have played. An inspired substitution in the end by Javier Aguirre as Jimenez for Jimenez. The G got the goal. The J gave it his all to get a goal, but unfortunately couldn't find it. And it is 1-0 as we close out game number 1 of 104. Now, taking a look at the stats as the players walk off. Mexico, probably not the happiest, but it is the job done, and that's all that really matters. South Africa put in a spirited effort, but outclassed in the second half with a bit of quality that they couldn't be. Legendary AI wins. That's going to be a familiar screen. But looking at the stats as we close it out, then Mexico did take control in the second half, did make their opportunities, and did take one as well. 51-49 in terms of possession. The ball recovery time, South Africa did get the ball back quite a lot, but couldn't do anything with it that second half. Largely closed down by that strong Mexican defensive line. 5 shots to 3 in favour of the host nation. One of 3 host nations as well. 2.3 expected goals to 0.7. You'd argue they deserved it on the match, and you can't really, they did deserve it. That little spell as they came out of the second half, 20-25 minutes just after the second half kicked off, they did create and they did get their reward as well. But ladies and gentlemen, that will wrap up the first game of the World Cup. Taking a look at your man of the matches and best performers then for South Africa, it was Svefolo Sithole, who is of course Yaya on the pitch as well, just for an easier name, with Nkosinathi Sabisi 7.2 as well, a couple of 7s from Jaden Adams and Kuliso Madao. Decent effort from the back line as well, but they did get broken through, and man of the match will go to Alvaro Fidalgo, who provided the assist, getting a 7.8. Luis Chavez, Jesus Gallardo, Israel Reyes, very quality operators at left back and right back. Edson Alvarez, of course, the captain, putting in a shift in the middle, and then the goal scorer Santiago Jimenez with, of course, the most important contribution of 7.1. Rangel 6.8, 2 saves when South Africa had their opportunities. He closed them down, so fair play to him. Raul Jimenez, uncharacteristic bad performance. Will it see him drop for the next game potentially, with Santiago Jimenez taking his spot? Who knows? But what I do know is that will wrap up game number 1. I hope you guys have enjoyed. We're here for the long haul, and yeah, 103 to go and counting. Take care and enjoy the rest of your days.